We are taught from day one that the guitar is tuned E, A, D, G, B, E. But did you know that standard tuning was really just a compromise standardized in the mid-16th century? When you deliberately break that standard, you enter a world of heightened acoustic resonance and impossible chords. Welcome to Bob's Song Lab. I'm Robert C. Hoffman. Today we are tracing the incredible 400-year evolution of alternate tunings. From Baroque concert halls and spooky Nordic fiddles all the way to Delta blues and modern rock. Let's twist some pegs and dive in. Long before Jimmy Page or modern metal bands dropped their strings, classical musicians used a technique called scordatura, which literally translates from Italian as discord or mistuning. By altering string tension, composers could radically change an instrument's acoustic volume and timbral color. Back in the 17th century, instruments like the English lyra viol depended entirely on scordatura, boasting up to 59 different tuning patterns. In 1674, composer Heinrich Bieber wrote his famous Rosary sonatas for the violin, requiring a unique tuning for almost every movement. Later, legends like Mozart used it practically to make the viola louder and more brilliant. And in 1874, Camille Saint-Saëns used a dissonant open tritone in Danse Macabre specifically to sound like the devil. Speaking of the devil, scordatura was also deeply embedded in folk traditions, particularly the Hardanger fiddle of Norway. In these regions, alternate tunings were given mythological properties. If you wanted a dark, ghostly dissonance associated with folklore and the devil, you used half-troll-stilt, literally half-troll tuning. As we hit the 19th century, European parlor music migrated to North America, bringing wildly popular instrumental hits like The Siege of Sevastopol and Spanish Fandango. These songs were played in open D and open G, which is why those tunings became known as Vestapol and Spanish tuning. Meanwhile, native Hawaiians adapted the guitar into slack key style, guarding their personalized tuning so fiercely that they would instantly retune back to standard after a performance to keep their secrets. In the southern United States, African-American musicians were merging these parlor tunings with the rhythmic structures of the banjo, birthing the country blues. Tunings like Vestapol and Spanish gave blues legends like Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters a resonant, driving drone, and allowed them to pioneer slide guitar. Fast forward to the 1960s folk revival. British guitarist Davy Graham travels to Morocco, hears the oud, and seeks to replicate its drones by tuning his acoustic guitar to D-A-D-G-A-D. This modally ambiguous tuning forever changed Celtic music and eventually driven the massive Eastern-inspired riffs of Led Zeppelin. Finally, the 1970s singer-songwriter era pushed altered tunings to their absolute limits. Nick Drake used highly unorthodox configurations to create a fragile, dreamlike timbre. Joni Mitchell took it even further, utilizing over 50 distinct tunings. Because a childhood bout with polio made standard bar chords physically painful. From classical concertos to modern rock, the history of the guitar is the history of scordatura. Whenever musicians feel trapped by standard tuning, they just twist the pegs and change the rules. Which historical tuning are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments. Keep creating, and I'll see you in the lab.